are Aries. You are Taurus. You are Gemini. You are Cancer. You are Leo. You are Virgo. My brain went blank there. You are Virgo. You are Libra. You are Scorpio. You are Sagittarius. You are Capricorn. You're Capricorn. You're Aquarius. You're Aquarius. And you're Pisces. You're all 12 signs of the zodiac. This is G, and this video is about setting intentions for your new moons. For all the new moons, whenever there's a new moon, there's a particular astrology sign that the new moon is in, right? So for example, we're in February and there's going to be a new moon in Aquarius, right? Some think, well, I'm not an Aquarius, so this doesn't matter. So why should I watch, or why should I listen, or why is this important, or who cares, right? Maybe in the age of Aquarius, maybe we will have a 13th sign. Sounds wild. So when there's a new moon, the idea around the new moons and the focus of intentions is that there's a power within that new moon time because it's the sun and the moon together. Holy crap. Like stuff happens. The sun and the moon come together. The sun is considered the father, S-U-N, considered the father. The moon considered the mother. So what happens when the mom and dad get together? They can make a baby, right? Yeah, they can make a baby. So new moons are that same sort of energy that we're working with. And we're working it energetically. So when we understand the traits, the qualities and the characteristics that surround the sign that the new moon is in, that the sun and the moon are together. So what happens? They're going to make something. Well, what are they going to make? We're going to go through all the 12 signs, okay? And I'm taking inspiration from Jan Spiller. Jan Spiller wrote a book on this, okay? So I'm going to share some of her words that she has taken the time to put together, and then I'm going to add whatever pops in for me and the keywords that I totally either understand, relate to, have observed, gotten feedback from other people that just comes through true for me. And so then for you, you have to figure that out for yourself. Is this valid? Does this work for you? Does this align with you? Do you vibe with this? Right? But this will just give you some sort of a guideline, a starting point. It's not the end all be all, right? Do your own work. But it's a place where you can come and refer to in a video, basically, that you can use as a reference point. Then this may be able to shed more light and give you some more information if I haven't included. Like if there were keywords I didn't mention, because there's so many, right? If there were things I didn't discuss, then this way you can then click on this video and have it to refer to give you a little extra tidbits, right? Some more nuggets, some more pearls, as they say. So of course, we're going to start off with Aries. New beginnings. Shocker, right? New beginnings. Self-focus. Innocence. Self-discovery. Independence. Courage. Disengaging self-absorption. Disengaging self-absorption. And another way of looking at that and another way of saying that is like an over-identification of self. And another way of saying that is you're really egotistical. That's another way of saying all that. And so this is how do we disengage from being overly self-involved, right? So remember, this is based on things that you would likely wish for, things that you would want to focus on, because you're trying to see where possibly you feel like you might be able to improve in some way in your life. So if there was a new moon in Aries, you look for the Aries energy in your chart. You figure out the house number that it's in, and you're like, okay, this is the area of my life where I show my Aries energy. And then these are the keywords, right? So new beginnings, self-focus. So am I a self-starter? Can I be a self-starter? Aries is also leadership qualities. That's not listed here, but it is starting and leading in something. self-discovery, and also some authenticity because identity, my self-identification, my individuation. I use the word individuation a lot, especially with Aquarius, um, yeah, like Uranus and Aquarius energy, individualistic energy, but more about my uniqueness. Who am I? See, Aries is just figuring that out, right? It's the first sign, so it's young. And so the word innocence is here, the word innocence, and sometimes childlike behavior, childlike actions, right? So there's some more words that we're going to look at here. And again, we think of Aries energy possibly being a bit spontaneous and impulsive, right? And if it has a thought, sometimes it just acts on that thought, like it doesn't think things through. Because Aries energy, the focus is the head with Aries. So many times we think of the animal, the ram, Aries ram, and how it just charges forward with its head down, right? It just charges forward and it uses its little whatever, its horns or whatever, and kind of wants to have a little battle with somebody else. Um, but it charges with the head, meaning it's not using its eyes. It's not paying attention to what exactly it's ramming into. It already says, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And then it just kind of puts its head down, which means it closes its eyes and it charges. The problem with that is if the goal is far away, think about this. If the goal is far away, and if the goal somehow moved or the path was obstructed in some way, and the whole time we got our eyes closed or we got our head down, and so we can't see that there's a traffic light or there's an automobile or there's a roadblock, right? Then we could find ourselves, yeah, where there's going to be a delay or whatever. And then usually when Aries are delayed or if they're told to slow down or stop, oh, they get frustrated. They might even get angry because Mars rules this sign. So there's that I'll fight for this thing. Aries wants to be first. Aries wants to be first. Okay. So blazing new trails. These are the trend. These are, I was going to say trendsetter. These are the trailblazers. These are the folks who are the pioneers. The pioneers. Like they've made a discovery. They've kind of gone where no one's been before, but not up in space on land, right? I mean, you can apply it to space looking, at complex charts for sure. These can be people who can be trailblazers up there. But when you say trails, we're talking about usually you can leave markers along the way for others to follow type of thing, right? So starting and initiating high energy, high energy. When I say high energy, it is not sustaining energy. Remember that with your Aries energy, it is sporadic bursts of energy. This I know to be true. Taking actions, it's all about the physical body. The focus is the physical body, taking action. So sometimes we think of our health and how do I exercise, like my physicality, appearance, the appearance of my body. Innovative approaches. Survival issues. Oh my God, this is such a big one with Aries energy. The ancients, right? What did they have to do to live, right? It was just a hunter survivor, right? Kill or be killed, right? Absolutely. So sometimes when we're looking at Aries energy, we're realizing, um, but what if I didn't have to do that? Like, what if I could get out of that? What if I no longer had to be in that survival mode? Meaning I don't live paycheck to paycheck. I'm making it work and we're doing pretty good. Um, what else do I do with my life? Is there anything else that I can do with my life? Is there more about my life? Like, who am I outside of working to put food on the table and a roof over my head? Identity, Aries. They're figuring it out. They're young. And so sometimes we got to have patience for that. And Aries usually doesn't have patience. So I've learned, speaking personally, that for myself, because I have a lot of Aries energy, but speaking for myself, the ego is a big deal. And learning to have patience for myself, I never knew how impatient I was with myself. And once I learned to have more patience with myself, I found I was able to have more patience with others in my life because I was able to see, oh my God, you have zero patience for yourself. What is up with that? you know? And then I was just like, okay, I have to really learn to count to 10 and take a few steps back and just chill. Tell myself to chill. Like you can just you know, and not only just chill and relax, but there's no reason for the anger just because it's not moving at the rate of speed you want it to move at. There's no reason for to be angry about it. And if you feel that, then you need to go get your anger out in a healthy way somewhere. Like go get a punching bag. Go do whatever you need to go do. Go dig some damn holes. Do what you need to go do to get that energy out of you so you don't feel so damn frustrated, right? So the physical body, instincts, survival issues, and assertiveness. Aries energy. Honesty. Being honest. Authenticity, the impulsiveness, and being very straightforward. Being very straightforward without being hurtful. Being straightforward without being hurtful. Find yourself being authentic with others and letting them know what you're experiencing inwardly in a kind and non-blaming way. In a kind, non-blaming way. Aries is about self-discovery, so there's a lot of exploration. I used to say it's like an experiment, we're exploring, we're kind of going on a self journey, taking risk, eagerness, competition, yeah, self-direction, self-reliance, autonomy, especially body autonomy, my body, my choice, right? In whatever way that is for you. Self-sufficiency. Can I take care of myself? Self-sufficiency. Courage. Aries rules over the warrior nature in our lives. So it's courage, it's leadership, it's strength, it's vigilance, and boldness. Being very bold. That's Aries energy. And what about the whole thing with the self-absorption? So it's lacking the awareness of others sometimes. Okay, lacking the awareness of others. So maybe we look very selfish and self-centered, maybe even a little vain, maybe even a little narcissistic. Yeah, narcissistic. And then we get angry. We get angry. We have impulsive actions, and those impulsive actions will alienate others from your life, whether you're aware of it or not. Your impatience, your anger, and the impulsive actions, which is like you step in and you take over. Yeah. It alienates others because people are witnesses to that. And they just they may not say anything, but you may all of a sudden look around you and be like, well, there's no one here but me. And if that's the case, you have to ask yourself, why is that? Why is there nobody else around me right now? Did I do something? Did I say something? Absolutely be willing to look in the mirror before pointing a finger. I mean, that's actually should be the rule number one. And in the world that we live in right now, before we're going to point the finger or talk about somebody, do the work, look in the mirror, and ask yourself those questions first. Physical body. What about the physical body? I mentioned the head, so it's also the face and the scalp. It's also the brain. It's also the brain. And this is so true. A few years ago, it was actually more than a few years ago, but maybe over 5 years now, one of my siblings, her husband, he's an Aries. Aries rising anyway. That's all I can remember right now off the top of my head. Yeah, Aries rising. He had a small automobile accident. So, like, nobody was hurt. He wasn't injured in the accident. Uh, anyway, it was what caused the accident that was alarming. He had said, because it was like a silly accident. He was like right down the street from his house. He just kind of like went off the road or something. It was just kind of freak. And so his wife, my sister, was like, what happened? Like, did somebody dart out in the middle of the road? What happened or something? And he said that he all of a sudden, like things kind of just went black, like his vision, like all of a sudden something happened in his head and he just couldn't see. And so other than the car, right, having problems and having to go to the repair shop, they were like, well, let's get you into the doctor and see what's going on. Well, there was a tumor in his brain and he had major brain tumor issue or something. And I could be wrong on some of the details of that story. So if by chance in hell there's a sibling that sees this video, I could be wrong on some of the details. So this is just me in my memory, and that's my version of the story as I remember it. But um, the head and the brain, absolutely. And yeah, so he had the surgery. It was a 100% success. But Aries, the brain, and a very physical guy, very assertive guy in general. Headaches, headaches and dizziness. Yeah, headaches and dizziness, Aries energy. So when we talk about new moon intentions and what to wish for, some examples of how, like, say you're someone who suffers from headaches. So examples that she gives in her books, and I'll put down below in the details the name of this book so that you can get it for yourself, because we're just using this kind of like as examples for you guys. And the credit, of course, goes to Jan Spiller. Um, so in her book, she put things like, because for her, she explains in this book that wording is very important. And so she phrases all her words of around about like what I want. Not like I'm wishing upon a star, but what I want. And so it says, I want a total healing to occur in the area of my, and then you put like what area of the body that Aries rules. So area of my head, my headaches, my face, my scalp, whatever. Another example, I want to easily attract, recognize, and begin working with the right healers for me that restore my, and then the area of the body that Aries rules, my head. I want to attract right information that leads to a total healing of my tendency to, and then you put the thing that's associated with Aries, which would be my tendency to be self-consumed, to be only, to just be self-absorbed type of thing, right? Or I want to easily find myself taking actions that leads to my successfully restoring my, and whatever the body part is, you fill in the blank, to perfect health and beauty. And again, these are examples that she gives. They're just examples. These aren't things that you need to actually put verbatim, but it's to get those creative juices flowing on how to create some uh, intentions, wishes, prayers, intentions, words that you want to use to fold in the Aries keywords of what you want to bring into your life. Okay. So some more examples that she gave. With Aries, I want the habits of vanity and judgment totally lifted from me. I want all non-constructive anger easily lifted from me. I want any survival instincts that are socially counterproductive easily lifted from me. These are, every time I say I, this is a new one, right? I want all impatience easily lifted from me. I want all self-defeating lack of awareness of others totally lifted from me. I want the tendency to isolating selfishness totally lifted from me. I want to stop taking impulsive actions that are against my own best interests. You see? So having the Aries keywords for for Aries new moon is kind of how you take that knowledge and use it with the energy of the time, and how you can weave it to work with the energy, because it's just the season that you're in. It's like these are the seasons and the ingredients that you have available to make this dish. You can only use the ingredients that are available, right? If you choose to not use those ingredients, that means you're not making a dish. That means you're not making a dish. You're not going to have anything to eat. So you can decide, I don't want anything to eat. I'm not going to partake in it this month. Or you can say, well, hell, I'm going to use an energy. I want to create an energy dish, and I'm going to use this information to do that. You see? So the next one is Taurus.